A woman clearing out her late mother's jewelry box found a line bracelet of small red stones, dark and old-looking, the gold worn thin, assumed it was costume with glass in it, and let it go for almost nothing. Here's what she couldn't see: an unheated natural ruby and diamond-lined bracelet in 18-karat gold sells for around $11,800, and a Victorian bracelet of natural emeralds and unheated Burmese rubies has been offered at over $60,000, while a glass lookalike is worth almost nothing, and the two can sit side by side, looking nearly identical. That's not a coincidence. The bracelet was always valuable. The value was lost the moment it passed from someone who didn't know what they held to someone who did, and that gap is where almost all the money in the gemstone world lives. Here's the thing about gemstone bracelets specifically. The stone does not announce itself. A row of red stones might be glass-filled corundum worth a few $100s, or untreated Burmese rubies worth a fortune, and they look the same in a dim room. The difference isn't size or sparkle. It's species, origin, treatment, and whether the stones are natural at all. Four things you cannot see, and most sellers never test. To you, it's an old bracelet with colored stones. To a collector, it's a species, an origin, a treatment status, a lab report waiting to be written. The real question isn't whether they're worth money. It's why the valuable ones stay so cheap, and who benefits. Knowledge sits in very few hands, and a resale economy runs on it. So here are 10 old gemstone bracelets people own without knowing it. One warning first, and it matters more than anything else. Do not clean it in an ultrasonic machine. Do not have the stones brightened or reset, and do not let anyone recut a stone to look modern, because the original settings, hand-cut stones, and honest wear are the evidence of age, and many older stones sit on closed foil backings that moisture and cleaning destroy permanently, taking the sparkle and value with them. The first is the unheated sapphire bracelet, most likely to be misjudged because almost every sapphire on the market has been heat-treated, and the ones never heated are a completely different asset class. You cannot tell by looking. A bracelet of natural, matched sapphires, especially with documented Kashmir, Burma, or Ceylon origin, sits far above a treated commercial piece and gets dismissed as blue glass. Your stones are unlikely to be Kashmir, but unlikely is not no. Flip the clasp and get the stones tested by GIA, Ceph, or Gubelin before you sell. The second is the emerald bracelet, and emeralds tell one of the strongest stories in the 2026 market. But treatment decides everything. Untreated or lightly oiled emeralds with a lab report are the fastest appreciating colored stones in the world, while heavily treated ones lag badly. And the irony runs deep, because in emeralds, the inclusions everyone reads as damage are proof the stone grew in the ground rather than a lab, and Colombian origin carries its own premium. So the cloudy old green stones with the flaws may be the real thing, while the flawless bright ones are synthetic. Don't judge an emerald by how clean it looks. The third is the untreated ruby bracelet, and it hinges on one word. Untreated Burmese rubies sit among the most valuable colored gems on earth, and the numbers are concrete. An unheated ruby-lined bracelet runs around $11,800, while a Victorian bracelet of natural emeralds and unheated Burmese rubies has been offered at over $60,000. Only about the top 5% of gems remain entirely untreated, so two ruby bracelets can look identical, while one is treated commercial and the other a certified untreated stone worth many multiples, and only a report tells you which. Now, let me say one thing, and then I will not bring it up again. I have gathered this way of looking at things into a book, and the link is down in the description. It is not about bracelets in particular. It is about the 5 questions you ask of anything old: what it is made of, who made it, when, whether it is genuine, and what people have actually paid. That is the eye. If you want it, it is there. That is all. Now, back to the bracelets. The fourth is the tennis and line bracelet, where two near-identical pieces sell for wildly different sums based on what's actually set in them. A line bracelet of natural diamonds, sapphires, or rubies in solid gold or platinum is a different universe from a cubic zirconia or glass lookalike that reads identically at arm's length. The value lives in whether the stones are natural, the carat weight, the metal, and the cut. And an Art Deco line bracelet with fancy cut diamonds in platinum is a grail, while its costume twin is worth almost nothing. The fifth lesson is the one that costs people the most. And with gemstones, it isn't the box, it's the paperwork. On a colored stone, the lab report is the value. A certificate from GIA, AGL, CEF, or Gubelin verifies species, origin, and treatment, and those three facts are most of the price, because without them, the stones are just old colored jewelry. Here's the cruel mechanics. The certificate, the fitted box, the receipt, the decades-old appraisal all get thrown out as old paper, and years later, the single most value-additive thing you could have kept is gone, because the people who buy uncertified stones from people who didn't keep the documents are doing just fine with that arrangement. So keep every scrap, and if there's no report, get one before you sell, because that document can move the price by a factor most sellers wouldn't believe. The sixth takes that danger to its most expensive extreme, and it's the bracelet hiding in the drawer that's worth more than everything else combined. Jade is the stone Western sellers misjudge most badly, because a jade bangle reads as a cheap green souvenir, while in Asia it sits at the top of the market. Jadeite is the translucent, high-luster jade that is prized, and the words that decide everything are Type A, natural and untreated, versus Type B, bleached, or Type C, dyed, distinctions you cannot see and only a GIA report confirms. Entry bangles start modestly, but an imperial green Type A bangle sold at auction for over $3.8 million, more than 1,200 times the value of gold by weight. The danger is a bangle like this gets swept into an estate clearout, where a dealer offers one round number for all the old jewelry. This is where the most people lose the most money, not because the bracelet looked like junk, but because it was disguised inside a transaction designed to prevent itemization. Grief and exhaustion are the picker's best friends. So the rule, plainly, never sell jewelry in a bulk lot, never accept one price for all of it, and have anything with colored stones looked at separately, because the entire value of a jewelry box can sit in one bangle nobody recognized. The seventh is the bracelet whose stones almost nobody can name, and that anonymity is the opportunity. Natural pearls, not cultured, are the classic sleeper, because a bracelet of genuine natural pearls can be worth a fortune that only X-ray testing reveals, while looking identical to a cheap cultured strand. Beyond pearls, the unusual stones hide value. A chrysoberyl cat's eye, natural cabochon turquoise with genuine matrix, star sapphires, moonstone, alexandrite, natural opal. A normal person describes these as a funny gray one or a milky one and prices accordingly, while the market treats fine examples as serious money, and all of them are imitated with glass and synthetics, so identification is everything. We've covered origin, treatment, settings, paperwork, and the stones nobody can name, and the last three pull it together, starting with the detail that decides everything between two identical-looking bracelets. The eighth is the cut and era of the stones. Old mine and old European cuts were shaped by hand before modern machinery, with smaller tables and deeper proportions that throw warm fire instead of white glitter, and a modern lab grades them poorly while collectors hunt them, so a bracelet recut to modern proportions, loses its period integrity and much of its value. And a signed Cartier, Van Cleef, Tiffany, or David Webb gemstone bracelet carries a premium beyond its stones. So when you research, don't look at active listings, the bracelets for sale with hopeful asking prices, because anyone can ask any number. Look at sold listings, what pieces actually changed hands for, and match the stone, origin, treatment, and era. Active listings tell you what sellers wish. Sold listings tell you the truth. The ninth is the mine that closed and the stone that got synthesized, the "it used to be real" story running through this entire market. Kashmir's sapphire deposits were worked out a century ago. Old quality Burmese ruby is scarce, and you physically cannot mine more, which is why documented natural stones from these sources climb relentlessly. Meanwhile, the lab-grown industry produces flawless synthetics that look better than the natural ones, and glass and doublets fill the market. The lesson is the whole game. The synthetic often looks brighter and more impressive, while the priceless natural stone looks darker, included, and older. You cannot judge by appearance. You judge by the report, the setting, the era, and the origin, the things people who know read fluently, while everyone else guesses. The 10th is the grail, where every principle compounds and the ceiling disappears. The most extreme version of the central truth, that the value was lost the moment it passed from someone who knew to someone who didn't. At the very top sit the bracelets that don't look like much. A Victorian bracelet of natural emeralds and unheated Burmese rubies at over $60,000. An Art Deco platinum line bracelet of old-cut diamonds and calibre-cut sapphires, mistaken for paste. An imperial Type A jadeite bangle. A natural pearl bracelet that only testing reveals. A signed Cartier, Van Cleef, or Tiffany piece, where the mark alone multiplies everything. These surface in ordinary drawers because a $100 glass bracelet and a $100,000 natural one can look the same in a dim jewelry box. Every lesson converges here. Origin and treatment, the lab report, the original setting, the era and cut, the signature, the warning never to clean or recut, and the venue, because where you sell matters as much as what. A rare gemstone bracelet sold to a pawn shop or a bulk estate dealer is sold to whoever weighs it, while the person who will recognize and pay for it is a specialist gemologist or an auction house that sends stones for testing before naming a price. So here's the checklist that flips you from the person being collected from to the person who knows. Don't clean it in an ultrasonic. Don't recut or reset the stones. Leave every honest mark where it is. Read the gold marks and any signature, because the look of the bracelet is only the beginning. Keep every certificate, receipt, box, and appraisal, and if there's no report, get one before you sell. Never sell in a bulk lot. Research on sold listings, not active ones. And when you've found something real, take it to a specialist, not a passerby. If you recognized even one of these, hit the like button and comment below if you've got an old bracelet with colored stones you can't identify, especially a dull or cloudy one, and I'll take a look. Subscribe if you want the part of the market the resellers already know and won't share. Because the truth under all 10 is simple. These bracelets were never worthless. They were built to look like the ones people throw away. And the only thing standing between you and what they're really worth is knowing. That's not a coincidence either.